G'day, it's Pete here, and I'm back for day 2 of the World Bridge Championships. We've got a lot of action today, so we'll jump straight into it with an interesting set between Switzerland and India. So let's jump in and take a look. So there were heaps of swings in this set, but I'm just going to pick a few that I thought were really interesting. So this one, both tables got to 4 spades. They were both using artificial means. West showed spade support here, and they got to 4 spades. And the interesting question is, what would you lead from this south hand, and why? So at this table, they chose a club. You got a singleton club. That seems like a fantastic lead. But one of the downsides is it picks up your partner's queen of clubs, and you've just finessed them. Now, here, I think a club lead's entirely reasonable, but doesn't work out too well at all. But one of the things when you're trying to actually get a ruff by leading a singleton club is you need your partner to get in and be able to return the suit for you to actually trump. Now, if the opponents are showing really strong hands, and it's really hard to tell by the auction, but if they're interested in slam, this south hand's probably too strong for their partner to ever get in and give them a ruff. So at the other table, the play went a little bit differently. They found a low spade lead, which worked a treat. So first of all, it doesn't pick up your partner's clubs, but also it prevents them being able to trump the diamonds. Now, East-West can still make 4 spades after this lead, but this lead puts a lot more pressure on. And they untangle the ace of hearts and then just give up 1 diamond. And they kept going with ace of spades and a spade. So not going after their club ruff, but just trying to prevent the opponent's trumping there. Now it went king of hearts, and they got rid of one of their losers. And at this stage, they then just played a heart, hoping that the hearts were breaking 3-3 originally, or that the hearts might be good with 1 ruff. When that doesn't happen, they ruff in. So at this stage, they've lost 2 tricks. They're going to lose a diamond still, and they have to get clubs right, but they don't actually have the entries anymore. After what they've done, they can no longer finesse North's club twice and are going down. So instead, they choose to try and play for South for the queen of clubs, but that doesn't work. So that was a game swing to India. So really interesting one that comes back to the opening lead. And do you lead your singleton or not? And how much strength have the opponents shown? Does your partner have enough points to actually get in and give you a ruff? That's really dependent on the opponent's auctions, but interesting one nonetheless. Moving on to board number 18 after this, the second one of the set. India were up 10-0 after that first one. Here, East opened a very weak week 2. Again, important. Whenever you see these top players make preamps that are very pushy, low on high card points, go back to the vulnerability, and you'll very often see that they are not vulnerable. The vulnerability matters a lot when choosing whether to preempt or not, and how high to preempt and push it out a lot. So here, with only 3 points, 2 hearts here, you'll actually see that this sort of bid would be quite common, and was actually duplicated at the other table. Now here, North-South don't have that many points. They've got 16 opposite 13, but Slam is actually pretty good on the cards. Here it went 2 spades and then 3 clubs, and they subsided in 3 no trumps. And largely slams on 1 of 2 finesses. You got 2 club tricks, you got a diamond trick, 2 with the finesse, and you got 3 hearts and 5 spade tricks, 6 if the finesse worked. So you just need either the king of spades in the east hand or the king of diamonds in the west hand to make 12. So they're really difficult to actually bid here. But if we jump to the other table, here, same week 2 in hearts, but now South jumped to 3 spades. And you might be wondering about that one. What does 3 spades show over a week 2? So usually you don't preempt over a preempt. That would be showing, like, you don't say, hey, I've got a weak hand and I've also got a weak hand. So jumping over preempts usually shows some extra strength. So here, North really liking the hand, jumped to 6 no trumps, managing to get to the very pushy slam, but good slam nonetheless. And after this, Switzerland had picked up 13 imps for a good slam bid. Tough one to get to, but well done. The next interesting board was literally board 3 of the set, board 19. They're playing 16 boards matches. So this is just 17 through 32 is what you'll see. And here it went pass, 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 and transfer, and they get to 4 spades. Now here, 4 spades made pretty comfortably at this table. They got a heart lead. They ducked the first heart. They won the second. And now they just played ace of spades and king of spades, and the queen jack fell. And after this, that they lost 2 clubs, but they can set up their clubs for discards. They got over to that west hand, led a club finessing the queen, which lost, diamond finesse, and now they're just going to knock out the ace of clubs and throw a couple of things away for 10 easy tricks. It wasn't so easy at the other table, and I want to explain why. So here, with a 9-card fit, missing the queen and jack, usually you'd take the ace-king hoping that they're a 2-2. But when you lay down the ace or the king and you see an honor from this south hand, either the queen or the jack, there's something called the principle of restricted choice, which suggests that you should actually finesse and play for the fact that you saw an honor that it should be a singleton. So here, similar sort of auction, similar lead, they won that. Now, the main issue with trying to finesse spades is how can you actually get over to that west hand? Well, they found a way. So they started with a low club, just giving up a club trick, but sort of building their clubs in the meantime anyway, because you need those clubs for some discards, or at least a discard. And they got their heart, and now they trumped again. Now they took the ace of spades and one fell. And at this stage, they played another club, and then in the diamond finesse. And at this stage, they trumped their winner to get over to this west hand to play for the restricted choice. And that failed. So all that hard work, but actually taking the losing finesse there, found a way to get over there to play for restricted choice, which failed this time. So another swing towards India. There were a bunch more swings. India's later in the set up 42-20 when this interesting one came up. And here at this table, East-West got to 3 spades, and that went 1 down. One of the noticeable things here is after a diamond pass a heart, 1 spade, North bid 2 diamonds. Now, the other option that they potentially had if they played it is a support double, where if they doubled, that could show 3 hearts. Now, if we jump to the other table here, that's exactly what happened at this table, which allowed North-South to find their heart fit rather than their diamond fit. And they actually bid all the way to 4 hearts over 3 spades, because with this south hand, after East-West bid on to 3 spades, they're pretty sure their partner's got a shortage in spades, singleton, at least a doubleton. And they've got 10 points opposite an opening, so I thought it was worthwhile to give 4 hearts a go. Now, the play in here is pretty interesting as well. So if you look at what losers you have on this hand, so there's 3 spade losers, and you're definitely going to lose 1, but maybe you can try trumping the other 2. In hearts, you'd want to finesse the king of hearts. In clubs, you'd want to finesse the king of clubs. And diamonds, we can play up towards the king of diamonds or up towards the jack to try and reduce our diamonds from 2 to 1. Now, anytime that you have this king-jack guess, where you can lead up towards the king or up towards the jack, counting high card points is fantastic, because given the bidding, you might be able to get clues. And if we look from this bidding up here, West overcalled a spade, and East bid 2 diamonds here, which showed sort of 10 or more points with a fit for spades. Now, what you can sort of deduce here is there's only sort of 19 points missing for the East-West side. And they're going to be relatively split, sort of 10-9 sort of thing. Like there's an overcall and there's 10 points here. So anyway, they start with a club lead, which finesses the king of clubs, which is fine. You would have had to do that anyway. And now you have to trump some of your spades. So they go straight into the king of spades. And the opponents try and cut down on your ability to do this. So if you finesse the heart here and it loses, you can't trump two of your spades. So here they give up on finessing the heart just to make sure they can trump both of their spades. And they lead another spade here and trump down to the ace of clubs and then trump another one. And here they then play the jack of clubs and the king covers the jack. And at this stage, Declarer has seen the ace and jack of spades and the king of clubs, which are 8 of East's points, and they haven't seen any points from West. They now come out a heart and they see the king and show some spades, but it's now the crunch time where they have to lead a diamond. And if you knew you had this king jack guess from the start and you've been counting points because you know this problem's coming, you know West is much more likely to have the ace. So when they play low, in with the king and 10 tricks. So really interesting game contract there. The support double helped them find their heart fit before their diamond fit. And bidding to this pushy game, few finesses, but you know that the shortage in spades was pretty good for you. And then some good counting there helped that along the way. So that was India versus Switzerland. In the end, let's bring up the whole scorecard actually. So here's the whole match. There were heaps of swings. India won 76-20, and just heaps of imps all over the place. Very swingy set of boards. And all the matches were quite interesting. So if we look at this, we've got Denmark versus Argentina. Denmark getting 92-5, absolute clean sweeping them. Other interesting matches is Sweden versus UAE. Sweden nearly getting the lot. Also, the UAE went negative. This is just an indication that they got a fine. There's various reasons that you can get a fine, but some of the common ones are one of your players or partnerships might have been late to the table. You might have had slow play, but often when there's slow play, you'll see both sides deducted unless one of them called the director just to say, hey, we're in time, the opponents are taking more than their fair share. Or also it could be that they put their entry in late. For this, you have to nominate who's going to be in which seats. And you have to do it something like 20 minutes or half an hour before play starts. So they might have been just over that. There are other fines, like maybe they brought a mobile phone into the playing area. I don't have the details on what it is. This fine's pretty small. It's only half a VP. So my guess is that just either forgot to put their pairs in before, like half an hour before, maybe they just crept over that mark. But if you see that negative, that's why. Or if the totals don't add up to 20, a pair got fined. And you can usually check the bulletins, and tomorrow we might be able to find out what it was. But yeah, USA 2, big win over Uruguay. Canada, big win over Guadalupe. Singapore, this is a big one. Singapore didn't have the best start yesterday, but good win over New Zealand, who had been playing well so far. Italy over Israel, big win, great result for Italy. Small win for South Africa over Australia. They'd been doing pretty well yesterday. And then Netherlands, Hungary, pretty close. And the India-Switzerland result. And England, solid win over USA 1. So lots and lots of interesting results in round number 4. Let's take a look at round number 5. So on to round number 5. We've got an interesting match between Denmark and USA 1. So this first board that I wanted to talk about, again, here we've got a preempt, not vulnerable, only 6 card suit, 3 clubs, and good. South has a decent hand. They've got a hand they would have opened, but can't bid over the preempt there. And here, I just wanted to highlight West's 3 no trump bid here. So 3 clubs pass 3 no trumps. You might be wondering, why are they doing that? Well, they're pretty weak and they have very little defense. And they're not bidding 3 no trumps expecting to make. This is a bit of a psych, but just trying to get the opponents a bit unsure about where the actual values of the hand are. And occasionally you'll catch both North and South awkwardly placed, not knowing whether they can bid on over it, thinking that you've got a genuine 3 no trump response to 3 clubs. And yeah, you go like 6 down or something, but the opponents have a game contract on. And if they double you, you can always run out to 4 clubs here. So just trying to sow a bit of confusion here. And North doubled for takeout and went pass, and South bid 4 hearts. At the other table, exactly the same. 3 clubs pass 3 no trumps. Same 3 no trump bid, trying to sow that confusion there. North with the double. This time South started with a pass, which forced West to reveal that they didn't actually think that they were making. And then North can double again, say, hey, I've got this good hand. And South said, hey, I do too. I got a good hand. Let's pick a slam is what the 5 no trump bid means. And then it went 6 clubs. You tell me a bit. And South chose hearts here. So they got to 6 hearts. Now you're off the ace of clubs. You also have a diamond loser, but that can be thrown on the 4th spade. So 6 hearts is a very easy contract to make. All about trying to untangle this auction after the preempt, and the 3 no trump response can be a bit difficult there. But yeah, getting to 6 hearts, well done. So first swing to Denmark. The next board I wanted to talk about, here it went 1 club opening and the choice of overcall here. So it went 1 diamond. This is very routine 1 diamond overcall. Then it went double, support diamonds, and South jumped to 4 diamonds, showing a good hand, and they got to 4 hearts. 4 hearts was a pretty routine contract when everything split. At the other table, they chose something interesting. So pass a club, and they chose a 1 no trump overcall. So they've only got 14 high card points, but they do have a 5 card suit, and they've got a potential double stopper in clubs because of this jack. So I really like this pushy 1 no trump overcall. And that stopped the opponents easily finding their 4 heart contract. After the 1 no trump overcall, it's kind of hard to bid to your own game here. So North started with a double and it went pass. Now here, West actually just sat the double and passed it out. I personally probably would have chickened out at this stage and ran to 2 diamonds. But sitting it worked out pretty well. So in 1 no trump double, they got out for down 2 here. So they started with a heart and another heart and just set up the heart. And now you can just go after diamonds, just ace of diamonds, diamond. And yeah, the opponents can get their spades, but you get 3 more diamonds and the ace of clubs at this stage for down 2. So the 1 no trump overcall worked there and stopped the opponents bidding their vulnerable game. Next board I wanted to look at here is here East opened a diamond, went 1 heart, and East bid 2 hearts. Now, do you invite game with this hand? They've got 11 points. They've got a Doubleton diamond, partner's first bid suit, but you are vulnerable. Now, they chose to pass and play in 2 hearts, whereas the other table chose to actually make an invite, and they accepted the invite and got to 4 hearts. Now, if I go back to the first table, so how they played it. In this one, they got a club lead at both tables. If you think about it from the West hand, you got 2 spade losers. You have a heart loser missing the queen. You have to guess that. And you got 2 diamond losers. But on your queen jack of clubs, you could either throw 2 diamonds or 2 spades and be able to trump one of your losers. So if you can find the queen of hearts, you can make this contract. So here they won the club, untangled it. And here they went king of hearts, jack of hearts, and lost that finesse and ended up with 9 tricks. At the other table, same club lead, They won, they untangled the club, and now led a heart over to the ace, and then back to the 10, and they got it right. So is this just a pure guess? Well, it is a guess, but I actually think there's a very slight hint to play north for the Queen of Hearts, which is they've led a club. They've chosen something very passive, and they might have chosen a trump lead if they had a passive heart lead as well. Now, they never will lead a heart away from the Queen here, but if they had 2 low or 3 low hearts, they might have chosen that instead of the club. Especially if they've got decent diamonds, which you know that they're looking at. And remembering that they've opened a diamond, you might be thinking, ooh, can we cut down on them roughing? It's not a lot to go on, but I think that's a good enough hint that to make the 4 heart contract, it's potentially worthwhile. So yeah, that was some of the swings. Here's the full scorecard. Denmark beat USA 1. They won by 13 imps, so small medium win there. They'll be pretty happy with that. And let's look at all the results there. So for round number 5, it seemed like about half the matches had pretty interesting results. So Netherlands had a near maximum against UAE. Again, anytime you score over 15 VPs, it's a pretty solid result. You'll be happy. If you're playing one of the weaker teams, you'd really want... If you're one of the stronger teams playing one of the weaker teams, you'd really want 15 or more. If you can get close to maximum, that's fantastic. Also, there's England versus Guadalupe. They had a near maximum as well. And Israel versus Singapore. So here, Singapore had been doing some good results just of late. And then Israel had a fabulous win over them. So that's a great result for Israel. Then there was Sweden versus Hong Kong, near maximum. Another great result for Sweden. USA 2 versus Hungary, fantastic. And then also we have Canada versus South Africa. So South Africa had a small win in the morning and then just a medium loss to Canada. So they wanted to probably continue their stronghold there. So they're the results from round number 5. Let's take a look at round number 6. So for round number 6, I've got an interesting match between Italy and the Netherlands. And to kick things off, I think I found the auction with the most doubles and redoubles I've seen in a while. And here it went pass and East opened a spade. Worth noting here, only 10 high card points. This aggressive opening kicked all of this off. And again, not vulnerable for these aggressive actions. And South has a pretty routine takeout double. Now, West, with a pretty solid hand and noticing the opponents are vulnerable, just started with a redouble, showing 10 or more points without a fit. And now, what do you do with this North hand? So here they passed, and pass usually just says, I don't have a preference. Partner, you get yourself out of this one. So East passed and South bid a no trump. Now, you might be looking at this one no trump bid, but this is similar to a pass, like this double, this pass, and this one no trump are all just saying, partner, you choose. So double says you pick a suit. Pass says you pick a suit. One no trump says you pick a suit. I've now doubled. North like, no, I'm still not going to do it. I want you to play it. He goes pass. So they redouble. This redouble is for rescue as well, saying, partner, your turn to pick. And they've run out of ways to pass the buck. And it went pass, and North bid 2 clubs, and then they doubled that for penalties. So there was 3 doubles, 2 of which were converted into penalty doubles. There were also 2 redoubles, 1 for values, 1 for rescue. And this pass here was also just saying, I don't have a preference. I don't have a preference. All right, fine, I will pick. If you make me, we're going to play. And they chose 2 clubs, and that went for 1,100. At the other table, there weren't nearly as many fireworks. This is just a pretty normal auction. So there was an 1,100 on an auction, on another auction, which was just pretty routine. And it went pass, and it started with a pass here. 10 points, pretty routine to pass, but notice all that action that came from that more aggressive bid there. South opened a diamond, and now East-West don't have the ways to penalize them. a heart, a spade, a no trump. And they made extra tricks. They could have made bid to 3-no maybe, but like, who's to say that's a good bet? So yeah, big swing to Netherlands to kick things off. Moving on to the next board. Here, De Boyne opened 1-no trump, and he's off shape. He's got a 5-4-3-1. He's got a singleton king. But notice the effect that this has of preempting the opponents out of the auction. So here it went 1-no, pass. 4 clubs was just a transfer to hearts, showing a 6-card suit instead of 5. And East bid 4 hearts, and they happily played there, which made comfortably, just losing 1 spade, 1 diamond, and 1 club. At the other table, they opened a more natural 1 diamond, and went past 3 hearts. South doesn't have a bid over 1 diamond opening. The 3 heart bid past 4 hearts, and now they chose to make a takeout double, and their partnership got into 4 spades that way. So the 1-no trump option sort of just skewed it a bit, made it a bit harder to get in there. But 4 spades got out for down 1, which was good over the opponent's 4 heart contract. The last board I wanted to look at is here. Just a little part score battle, but here West opened 1-no trump, not vulnerable. They play a mini no trump, so this was not sure of the exact range, but something like 9 to 12 high card points, I think they were showing. And I went pass, and South doubled, showing some values. East ran to 2 diamonds, and now North tried 2 spades. I'm not sure why South chose to correct it to 3 clubs. Probably unsure about partners' length in spades, or not sure what their double potentially showed, but not clear why they chose that. But then 3 clubs looks like it's okay. It looks like you'll just lose 2 diamonds and can trump a diamond, lose 1 heart and 1 spade. But your entries to the north hand are really awkward in clubs, whereas they're fine in spades. So if they make you trump once with a diamond, you can't actually use the spades if they don't take the first spade. And here, after a heart lead, they won, and they tried a low spade, and West did well ducking, and now the entry communication is all tangled up. And if they can make the north hand trump once, they won't be able to use that good spade suit. At the other table, I went pass, so they didn't open the west hand. 1 diamond, pass, a heart. North got in there and just bid a spade. South's double here showed clubs and some tolerance for spades, and they pushed on to 2 spades. And 2 spades is much easier contract to make. And another part score swing for Netherlands. So this set was a lot more tame compared to some of the few previous ones, but Netherlands got a 9-imp win over Italy here. So more flat boards, couple of big swings, couple of sort of interesting smaller swings there as well. So let's take a look at the results. Worth noting here is Hungary, massive win over the UAE. USA won, big win over Uruguay here. Guadalupe versus South Africa. Guadalupe's actually had their equal best result here, with just a very small loss to South Africa. So South Africa's today significantly worse than yesterday, so they've dropped down the rankings a bit. USA 2 versus India. USA 2 got an absolutely massive win over India. Fantastic result for USA 2. But India's results, they started the day off fantastic and then flipped it and didn't have a good end to it. And then also New Zealand, massive win over England. So they got an absolute maximum win there. And they did the reverse of India. They started off pretty slow this morning and then had a big win there. So making up the top 8, we've got USA in first, Denmark in second, and Netherlands in third. Rounding out the top 8 is Norway, Hungary, England, and New Zealand and South Africa. So looking at the other sections, we have the Wuhan Cup, which is the mixed teams. Italy's in first spot, close behind is Romania, and Germany in third. Rounding out the top 8, we've got France, Turkey, Latvia, Belgium, and Poland. In the Diorsi Trophy, which is the seniors, USA won in first, Denmark second, Italy third, and then a bit of a gap, but Poland, India, Germany, England, and France rounding out the top 8. And in the Venice Cup, the women's, Poland is absolutely dominating. Then is Denmark in second, Norway third, and rounding out the top 8, England, Turkey, Italy, France, and Sweden. So they're the results from the World Championship after day 2. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.